Hello, friends. My name is Dr. Randy Schrader, and I am motivated to help you have an enjoyable life, satisfying relationships, to help couples have happy marriages, and to educate parents to effectively guide a child to be confident, motivated, responsible, and a really good, godly decision maker. In that regard, I wrote two national award-winning books. My three-time 2021 National Award-winning marriage book, Simple Habits for Marital Happiness, as well as my two-time National Award-winning parenting book, Simple Habits for Effective Parenting. I was a former professor of pastoral counseling for nearly 25 years at Concordia Theological Seminary, and I taught premarital counseling, marriage counseling, family counseling, as well as other valuable pastoral counseling classes. I have helped more than 2,000 couples achieve a happy marriage in counseling. At the beginning of the first counseling session, I always ask couples what are their main problem areas that they need help with, that they're consulting me about to guide them to become marriage experts in those areas. And I hear comments like, we don't know how to apologize to each other and forgive each other. We don't know what simple words and actions we need to do daily to stay in love after the honeymoon, to strengthen our marriage relationship. We know communication is essential. We're having communication problems. We don't know what specific communication skills can make a huge positive difference in creating a happy marriage. We know that the number one issue couples fight about is finances, and we don't understand, have the knowledge to budget and save and spend together for a happy marriage. We are having arguments and fights all the time. We don't have disagreement discussion guidelines. We don't know what guidelines need to be in place so that we can have a happy marriage. We don't know how to pray together and when to pray together and who should initiate those prayers. And so these are just a few questions that couples bring up to me, and they're seeking answers. Almost all couples are seeking answers to those questions that I just mentioned to you. And sadly, books speak in generalities. Self-help marriage books talk in concepts and principles. They don't get down to the specifics of what can make a positive difference in a marriage relationship for consistent satisfaction. I believe that there are 7 critical areas in a marriage relationship that both spouses need to become experts in. And when both spouses become marriage experts in these 7 critical marriage areas, they have a consistently happy marriage. In fact, I've heard it numerous times where spouses say it's impossible to not have a happy marriage when we implement these simple yet very effective habits in all 7 critical areas. So what are those critical areas that I cover in my 3-time National Award-winning marriage book, Simple Habits for Marital Happiness? Well, the first is, how do you apologize to each other and forgive each other? My PhD doctoral dissertation was on the benefits of apologizing and forgiving for a marriage, and I wrote 350 pages. And I condensed that down to give just the essential quality ideas about apologizing and forgiving in my marriage book to just 22 pages. Without apologizing and without forgiveness, it is impossible, I believe, to have a happy marriage. And yet when spouses become marriage experts in apologizing and forgiving, their marriage is on the road to consistent happiness. The second critical area is, how do couples stay in love after the honeymoon, so on a daily basis? What specifically do they need to do? And I cover that critical area in my marriage book as well. The third critical area for every marriage relationship is how to enhance spiritual, emotional, and even physical closeness in a marriage relationship. When couples are emotionally connected, minor irritations are just annoyances. Yet when couples are not emotionally connected, now those minor irritations become major arguments and fights. And so a lot of times when couples are fighting, it is because they're not emotionally bonded together. And so I explain in detail words and actions to create a strong connection between a husband and a wife. And then the fourth critical area is communication. What are specific communication skills to help couples express their expectations in a loving way and to help couples meet those expectations? How can couples lovingly express their hurts and disappointments? And so that is covered in chapter 4 of Simple Habits for Marital Happiness. And then the 5th chapter is, again, another critical area. Couples need to learn how to guard against potential damaging problems as they go forward in their marriage. And so I go into specific detail the main problem areas that can cause a couple to be unhappy and even lead to divorce. And then the 6th chapter, how do you have respectful disagreement discussion, may be the most important chapter, the most important critical area after apologizing and forgiving. And the first question, or one of the questions I ask in the first session, I should say, is what are your disagreement guidelines? And again, remember, I've helped more than 2,000 couples achieve a happy marriage. Almost 100% of the time, couples say we don't have disagreement guidelines. That is absolutely essential that couples become marriage experts in setting disagreement guidelines. In fact, 3 of the guidelines in that chapter, I've had 400 to 500 couples tell me, Dr. Schrader, those 3 guidelines alone have saved us from unhappiness and saved our marriages from divorce. And so I go through the specific guidelines then, and many of those guidelines you will not find in any other marriage book, be it a Christian marriage book or a secular marriage book. And then the final critical area is finances. Again, that's often the number one issue with couples. I go through specifically how couples can budget together, save together, and even spend together so that they do not have financial turmoil, but instead have financial harmony. I know that these 7 critical areas, these words, these actions, this common sense wisdom in all 7 areas will help you become a marriage expert and help you and your spouse have a consistently happy marriage. I really appreciate you taking time from your valuable schedule to listen to this video, to become a marriage expert. I know Simple Habits for Marital Happiness will make a difference in your marriage. There is a discussion guide that you can go through with your spouse or with other couples, and it's a free download at crosslinkpublishing.com. And so I would encourage you also to download the free discussion guide. Will you please subscribe to my YouTube channel? Share this video with other friends and family that want to become marriage experts, and make comments on this video or any of the other 60 videos on my Dr. Randy Schrader YouTube channel. Thanks so much for wanting to become a marriage expert. God's richest blessings on your life and your relationships.